Coming to you live and or pre-recorded, I'm Sven Sandberg from the WTTT studios in beautiful Central Florida, and this is The Time Traveler, random ramblings and mindless musings from a prematurely retired travel consultant with your host, Greg Angstrom. All right, thank you very much. Thanks for joining me for today's episode of The Time Traveler. I have a little spoiler alert for you. Only stay tuned if you have 6 minutes and 8 seconds that you're willing to spend in being totally unproductive. Well, Sven, August 31 marked the official start of my premature retirement due to COVID-19, so I am currently a free agent available to the highest bidder. I'm almost certain my phone will be ringing off the hook with offers from other travel agencies. Oh wait, there is no travel business as we once knew it, so never mind. All right, one more thing before we get started. Did you notice the shrine of unfulfilled sponsors here behind me? Yes, it has been rebuilt after its unfortunate demise prior to our last episode. I must say that even though the travel industry is unlike any other, and during my 37 years, it is 100% for sure that the good times far outweighed the bad times once we exclude the most recent COVID chaos from the equation. Well, you know what? It's time to fire up the time machine.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, we are going back to 1983 and 7662 Hickman Road in Des Moines, Iowa, and our international tours of Des Moines office. The travel industry has changed greatly since our start in 1983. I must say that even though the industry is very unique, my 37 years was extremely enjoyable and made for a great career. Let's look at some of the oddities of this industry. With most businesses, the day you open the door and have your first customer, your revenue stream begins. Not so with the travel agency. As I mentioned in a previous episode, we opened our doors on September 12, 1983. Now notice in this picture the absence of a computer. This again is my lovely wife. Sitting in our office, we have the International Tours banner, we have the world clocks set at different times, we have the world map, looking very much like a travel agency, okay? Now in 1983, the world was not filled with much technology, but airline reservation computers did exist. They were called Global Distribution Systems, or GDS for short, and enabled transactions between travel industry service providers, mainly airlines, hotels, car rental companies, and travel agencies. Now, every airline had their own system for the most part. We lived in Des Moines, Iowa, so United Airlines was the main carrier. So we used a United Airlines system called Apollo, and this is what the computer system looked like back in 1983. It was called the Blue Box, and pretty much that's what we had to work with every day. All right. Keep in mind there was no internet or World Wide Web, so these computer systems were very single-minded in their function. Excuse me, what is that, Sven? Yes, Al Gore had not invented the World Wide Web yet in 1983. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, now the kicker here is that unlike most businesses, a travel agency has to open its doors for business, but the GDS system from the airline and the approval to actually sell airline tickets doesn't come until much later. Much later in our case was December 6th, per this actual approval letter from the Air Traffic Conference of America, or ATC for short. Now, this letter starts out, "Congratulations, we are pleased to inform you that your application for Air Traffic Conference accreditation has been approved and your agency has been included on the official ATC agency list." All right? So this was the date we could actually physically start selling airline tickets. Selling leisure travel, such as cruise and vacation packages, started from the beginning, but our main business revolved around airline tickets. We had to place our orders through ATC for the tickets, and we paid $19.50 per order, whether it was 1 box or 100 boxes. We also had to have a safe, as new unprinted airline tickets were a definite attraction to thieves. Security for airline tickets was of utmost importance. One more oddity that comes to mind, the fax machine. With the internet and emails, fax machines are rarely used today, but I remember when we got our first fax machine. The year was 1989, 6 years after we opened, and we bought a Sharp thermal paper fax machine similar to this. All right. Now, we bought thermal rather than plain paper because of the price. Now, are you ready for this? The price for the thermal paper fax machine was $699. The plain paper was $1,299. Unbelievable, I know. Now, I wish I had a video of me receiving my first fax, as I was probably like a kid on Christmas morning. Once a fax was received, we immediately took it to the copy machine, as the thermal paper would roll up and eventually light would destroy whatever was printed on it. I have many more stories to share, but they will have to wait for another time. Until then, I'm kind of a big deal. Ciao for now. Thank you for joining us for today's episode. Remember to subscribe, share, and like this channel. This is Sven Sandberg for The Time Traveler, random ramblings and mindless musings from a prematurely retired travel consultant.